muster point is out of this car park, across the road at the market site. We do have washrooms located to my left, gents and male and female, and they're very well labeled, so please don't mix them up. Also, we do have a medical center set up by Dr. Rai Ragbir at the back of this tent. So should you need any medical assistance, please feel free. And just thank you all for being here.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yo.
Okay, we now have a prayer by Pastor Diane.
Close our eyes, bow our heads as we look to God in prayer tonight. And I think that all of us are here for one purpose. That is to win. Heavenly Father, tonight we come before you. We thank you for this evening. We thank you for this gathering. Wherever they have come from, Lord, we pray that you will bless this proceeding. Bless our candidates as they go up to win on December 2nd. Bless them with your favor. Give them that courage, the strength, and a bold spirit, because we are here to fight. Tonight, Lord, we pray that you will bless them with all the blessings of heaven. Lord, we pray for our leader tonight, whoever she is at this time. As she comes, that you will bring her safely. We pray, God, for strength tonight, that you will bless her. Give her godly wisdom. And we pray, as we go into our elections, that you, Lord, will change the minds and the hearts of those who are against us. We pray and we call it into being. You said to ask, and we are asking tonight for those that are on the shore, those that are standing by the wayside and haven't made up their minds. We pray tonight that you will change their minds. We pray that all our candidates will be successful come December 2nd. We pray that your people will go out and cast their votes so that the UNC will be that shining light. We pray and we ask all these blessings in your name. Amen.
Make sure the talk is done now. Time to start back the work now. All the talk
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the coordinator for San Fernando West, Mr. Danny Maharaj.
Yo.
Good afternoon, honorable political leader, all officials of the party, all who have gathered here tonight in Marabella, and who are tuned in via the airwaves throughout this country. I warmly welcome you on behalf of the United National Congress, San Fernando Local Government Coordination Team, our campaign management teams, and our outstanding candidates for the San Fernando City Corporation. Tonight, I welcome you with great news that the San Fernando City Corporation will soon be in the safe hands of the United National Congress. Our teams have been walking the ground. We have been holding meetings, and we have been listening closely to the cries and pleas of the burgesses of San Fernando. The message is clear. The PNM has neglected Trinidad and Tobago's second city, which has now deteriorated into its worst state in modern history. As declared from the mouth of a PNM minister who described it as a shanty town. The people are saying that San Fernando and its environs must be saved. Their cries are similar to what we are hearing throughout the country, whether it is roads, jobs, crime, housing, health matters, or drainage issues. The PNM has horribly failed Trinidad and Tobago. Brothers and sisters of the United National Congress, I wish to report to you that all our candidates have been warmly received through all electoral districts. Our teams have visited homes along major roads, the village streets, the residential avenues, and the back traces. And we have talked to the people at their homes, at the street corners, on the bridges, on recreational grounds, and just about everywhere. And everywhere, residents want a drastic change for a better Trinidad and Tobago. Whether it is in Batu Boulevard or Bayshore in Marabella West, or whether in Gulfview or Bel Air in Lesafort West. The message is the same in Lesafort East or Springvale Paradise, Vista Bella, Coquille Turuba, Monrepo, Pleasantville, or right here in Marabella East. Everyone wants a change. They say it's only pressure under the PNM. I have also heard so many painful stories under this PNM administration. And in fact, yesterday, I spoke to a gentleman who told me he lifted his young son into the air. And he looked with tears in his eyes and said to his son, I cannot afford to buy food for you and take care of you properly. And he must now hand his child to his parents for well-keeping. This is the type of heart-wrenching and heart-breaking stories. For over 60,000 jobs have been lost under this PNM administration.
Work nation.
Because of their failed economic, fiscal, and social policies, because of this incompetent and unable PNM government, they are bumbling and bouncing around, knocking down and destroying the lives of our people. This afternoon I bring good news. San Fernando and environs will soon begin to enjoy unprecedented growth and progress when City Hall is occupied by the United National Congress. Before you seated here tonight, these are our winning candidates. They are humble, they are hardworking, they are intellectual, they are visionary, and they have a heart for public service. They have won my respect and admiration that as a generation, they are stepping forward to serve this country when this country needs them the most. Let us congratulate our candidates. We are marching to victory on December 2nd, but let us be wary. for this PNM is devious. And they thrive on smokes and mirrors, on fiction, on illusion. Their politics is the politics of deceit, deception, and propaganda. Their politics is the politics of political terrorism. And now, like new arrivals, they are back. And they want to cut a bit of grass, or they want to put a few pebbles in a pothole. That cannot save the PNM. It is over on December 2nd. The United National Congress shall chant victory in the San Fernando City Corporation.
This is the UNC Work Nation. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Member of Parliament for Pointe-a-Pierre, Dr. David Lee.
Good night. Can we give Pointe-a-Pierre a round of applause here tonight in Marabella? You just heard from a dynamic coordinator, Danny Maharaj. The people of Marabella, the residents of San Fernando, and citizens throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Tonight, we are exactly 13 days away from victory against the PNM in this country. We are 13 days away from putting a crowning curtail on the PNM right here in the San Fernando City Corporation, as we kick out the blight, incompetence, selfish, uncaring, and arrogance control of the People's National Movement. Friends, the city of San Fernando used to be one of the most dynamic, talented, and economic booming within Trinidad and Tobago. But today, after 4 years of the PNM, national governance, and 6 years of local government, San Fernando is in shambles. The PNM Allison West, after Rowley shut down Petrotrin, came into San Fernando and said San Fernando is like a shanty town. You remember that? However, the darkest days in our history was on 30th of November 2019, when Rowley and his government shut down Petrotrin. The people of Marabella must never and will never forgive Prime Minister Rowley for the biggest betrayal in this nation's history. While Espinay and Rowley enjoyed a life of luxury, all Petrotrin workers of Marabella had their lives turned upside down. While they enjoyed the massive salaries, the workers from Petrotrin struggled to meet daily debts. Today, many of them right here have lost cars, homes, and families have broken up. Marabella will never forgive the PNM for what they did to Petrotrin. What is even worse, the Prime Minister on September 4, 2018, right here in Marabella Community Center, came and lied to you and said he was not shutting down Petrotrin. He said he will increase social development and infrastructure support for fence-line communities. Up to now, a single dollar or project to help the fence-line communities ever came to pass. He said he will give Petrotrin workers lands. Up to now, any former workers have never gotten any lands. Today, when we drive through Marabella, the gridlock traffic is gone because business activity has ceased. Family hardly have money to purchase necessities. Marabella is crying out. Is this a government that cares? When Arnold Sugrim and Teresa Lynch comes calling for your vote, tell them that their government fired the people of Batu Avenue, Taruba, Coquet, Pleasantville, and Monrepo. Where were they when you couldn't put a meal on your table? It was a UNC who had to fight for the workers. But the people of Marabella will understand your torment is not over yet. Only last week, the government shut down, or Yara is shutting down. The energy sector in this country is in shambles. In 2016, Mittal closed down. 2017, Methanol Holdings closed down 2 plants. And Yara is now shutting down at the end of December. As a community, as a city, ask yourself why. It is not because of the global condition. It is solely because of the Rowley regime that this country is failing. The rate that this PNM is going, Point Lisa will become a ghost town. Then the energy sector will be collapsing. Is this a government that you deserve? When you look around and businesses, and even in South Park Mall, empty spaces are propping up all the time. People cannot pay their rent. The economy of South Trinidad is suffering, and being killed off by this wicked PNM government regime. Right here in Marabella ECC Center that we have completed in before 2015. It has 5% more, and yet they cannot open the Marabella ECC Center for the children of Marabella. Brothers and sisters, tonight I ask you, could you live 5 more years under this regime? Remember, a vote for Arnold Sugrim is a vote for Daryl Smith, the tempted to touch man. A vote for Teresa Lynch is a vote for Marley McDonald. A vote for Riyad Hussein is a vote for over 100,000 more jobs will be lost. A vote for Michael Johnson is a vote for economic hardship. A vote for Alison Bash is a failure in the health sector. On December 2nd, you must stand up and save the future of Marabella and San Fernando. On December 2nd, we must push out the grip of the Rowley regime on the power so we can save our people. On December 2nd, you must vote them out. Long live Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Long live our candidate here on the stage. Long live Marabella and Pointe-a-Pierre. I thank you.
Everybody must work. Work nation.
Work Nation, let's welcome Springvale Paradise candidate Drake.
Everybody must work.
Are you UNC family? Good night. Good night. The honorable leader of the opposition and political leader of this great party, Ms. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, MP Rodney Charles, MP Dr. Rudranath Indarsingh, Senator Haynes, and other members of parliament, fellow candidates, good afternoon. Election day is fast approaching and democracy is stronger when all the members of the community are informed of the challenges that we faced. As the next councillor of this district of Springvale Paradise, together with my colleagues on the stage here, we come to sweep out the PNM, who seems to be doing whatever they want in our city. We sweep out. We sweeping out incompetent. We sweeping out invisible councillors. Brothers and sisters, I live in the heart of this community, and I'm well aware of the concerns and challenges that we faced. I know that there is a need for jobs, social development, sporting activities, homework centers, and cyber cafes in this community. There are 2 community centers in my area. We can use the young and intelligent persons who are jobless and well qualified to manage these homework centers in the said locations. My brothers and sisters, unlike the current councillor, or ghost if I may, intend to promise to you that I will be a councillor available to you, to hear you, represent you, and work towards solving your concerns about garbage collections, clog drains, unkept plots, social development, and other matters in a speedy manner. Can you imagine that a current councillor or ghost works tea and tech, and still we have a street lighting problem? Sweep him out. To the High Street and other members of the business community, I know that they are affected by the insane decisions of the mayor of the PNM-led council. Sweep them out. In regards to the traffic plans, I assure you that no decision will be made without having consultation with you. So on December 2nd, vote for Anthony Frederick. Let's get TNT working again. Vote for the UNC. Talk done.
Everybody must work. Everybody must work. Work harder.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your candidate for Pleasantville at the United National Congress Work Nation, Rishel Roberts.
Everybody must work.
A pleasant good night to the political leader, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, my esteemed colleagues, and to the people of San Fernando and Marabella environs. All protocol observed. I am Rishel Roberts, your local candidate and next councillor for the community of Pleasantville 2019. I have come to give the people an option of choice for sound, dedicated representation. For too long, my people of Pleasantville have been placed in bondage by lies and false promises, and I have not been afforded the opportunity for change. I have heard the cries of my people from Pleasantville and have availed myself to serve you with truth, transparency, trustworthiness, and the most of all, integrity. The separation from the lack of basic resources will be no more. Poor drainage system and the overgrown grass which have been a breeding point for mosquitoes. Lack of community enhancement programs which have led the dilapidated play parks and the underuse of the community plaza. Lack of employment and youth activities which encourages the community to be crippled by crime. The Pleasantville ECC Center has no fans or no security on the compound. Imagine that. No speed humps in certain streets in Pleasantville. And the ones they have, it's unpainted. It's very difficult for people to see. Ladies and gentlemen, these are just a few examples of what the people of Pleasantville have been deprived of. I am now here to be the voice of my people. We are going to take back the community, corner to corner, house by house. You know what is funny? Pleasantville have an MP and a councillor currently in government, and yet still, they've been neglected. What have been done for you, my friends? Tell me, what have been done? If anything at all, what are the improvements you wish to see? What are the changes you are willing to make? You are asking for change, and it is right in front of you. The choice for change solely depends on you. As the saying goes, a people without a vision has perished. And for too long, the people of Pleasantville are perishing because of the lack of vision from the present councillor. And that's why I am here tonight to inform you of my vision for your community. Once I'm elected to take you from rock bottom to the pinnacle, I will refurbish the play parks, open employment by employing the skilled youths in the community of Pleasantville to help facelift Pleasantville, ensure the drainage and grass are maintained on a weekly basis to ease the breed of mosquitoes, to give the community of Pleasantville a chance for a better tomorrow, and to get TNT working together again. Talk done. Come out. Come out on December 2nd and vote for your UNC candidate, Rishel Roberts, to put the lingering troubles at rest. Thank you very much.
Everybody must work. Work. Everybody must work. Work nation.
One, two. Yeah. Let's welcome the candidate for Leisure West La Romaine, Rishel Roberts.
honorable political leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar, members of NATEX, MP Dr. Rudal Monilal, MP Rodney Charles, Senator Anita Haynes, my fellow councillors of the San Fernando Corporation, come December the 3rd, all those viewing and listening at home, my fellow youths sitting at home with bachelor degrees, MBAs, PhDs, who are jobless in this failing economy under this incompetent PNM government, and this beautiful sea of yellow here at GOPAUL lands at MARABELLA. A pleasant good evening to all. I am Rishel Roberts, your candidate for Lesotho West. Thank you. I am a young businessman and sportsman. I was born and rooted in San Fernando for all 29 years of my life. I grew up on Ramsaran Street and later moved to Independence Avenue. I am a graduate of Naprima College and the holder of BA with honors in marketing management from the Angela Ruskin University. I also hold certificates in criminal psychology, forensics, and several certificates in health and nutrition from the International Sports and Science Association. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I stand beside you because I've decided to take a stand and say enough is enough. The lack of representation, not only in Lesotho West, Romaine, but the entire area of San Fernando is making us suffer. In today's Express newspaper, there is an article entitled, "The Slow Demise of the South Economy." This speaks for itself, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to congratulate each and every one of you in this massive gathering here tonight, on a school night, on a work night, for making the sacrifice to be a part of change. And come December the 2nd, agents to effect change. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Give yourself a round of applause for coming out tonight. I have already walked the entire constituency, for which I am responsible for, and I have started over to meet those who have missed. From my walkabouts, the residents were especially displeased with the following factors. Firstly, crime is everywhere. The residents of Gulfview have expressed their disgust of the discontinuation of the community patrol unit that the current PNM government has now shut off. The residents indicated to me that those who didn't choose the route of migration now in fact pay for the same said service out of their own pockets to possibly safeguard their homes. When elected, I will lobby for the city police unit to take more of an active role in community policing. Basic infrastructural upgrades and upkeep was another on the top of the list of residents of Lesotho West, Romaine. Clogged drains, potholes, and faulty lighting was the song of the area. One resident in Bel Air indicated that every morning, he and his kids usually play pick a hole on the Gulfview Drive Road. Another resident at Fahir Street indicated on one of our walks that she wrote 4 letters to her MP and councillor for the area about a faulty light pole leaning on her fence during a 2-year span, which was to no avail. This is a total lack of representation. Well, within 2 days of this complaint, we had the issue sorted out and the lamp pole is now fixed. What is the saying again? PNM talk, UNC. Ladies and gentlemen, hundreds of millions of dollars are being spent on mega projects, and Burgesses have the daily horror of flooding, traffic, and bad roads. This week at Green Acres, at Palmy's Bend, half hour of rain, and the people of that area were flooded out. When I paid them a visit, they had to use the same dirty water that they were flooded out with to clean up their homes. They had no water in their pipes for the last 2 days. When I'm elected, I pledge to make proper representation for the dredging of the Sipere River. It is my vision to make San Fernando a smart, safe, and green city. In concluding, ladies and gentlemen, on October the 17th of this year, there was an article in the newspaper. This is the extract, where the San Fernando mayor indicated a prediction of a clean sweep of the San Fernando City Corporation. Judging from the caliber of candidates that we have sitting, not only in the crowd, but on stage tonight, the only thing that the PNM can sweep at the City Corporation is this broom. Talk done.
We're working with the United National Congress Work Nation Local Government Elections 2019. Let's welcome Marabella West candidate, Mikael Cadiz.
Who migrate from where, or who live in who pay. Sufferers don't care who from country. Sufferers don't care who from town.
Sufferers only want to know
where the next food coming from.
UNC family, make some noise, make some noise, make some noise. Very special good night to the Honorable Political Leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Good night to our MPs, senators, chairmen, councillors, future councillors, to be like myself, the media, the media, and to the people of San Fernando West and environs, especially my people in Marbella West. Make some noise. You know, as a youth, with this crowd I see here tonight, you know what I'm seeing? A change is yet to come. We all want that change. I will give you all a brief history about myself. My name is Mikael Cadiz, 19 years of age, born and grew up in Marbella on the train line and Seaview Drive. I attended San Fernando Central Secondary School, well known as MODSEC. I attended, I'm furthering my studies at the University of the West Indies at the moment in business management. I'm the son of a boss community leader, Mr. Junior Cadiz. The grandson of the former councillor for Marbella West, Miss Gloria Cadiz. And the nephew of Dr. Leroy Cadiz, well known as the Black Stalin. I'm also a Calypsonian with a vision. Yes, I'm following in my uncle's footsteps. I have a vision with a mission for the youths in Trinidad and Tobago. I'm here to represent and I'm here to serve. I will not fail my people. I'm standing here tonight and I want each and everyone here, listen to me. I'm here to serve and I will not fail my people. Growing up around my father and grandmother, witnessing with my own eyes how they always embrace the love for the people in Marbella and even the people outside the area from their heart, always motivated me to help people. I must thank the UN government for paving the Marbella train line. Providing the area with proper box trains, street lights, the leisure park, and many more things through the assistance of my grandmother, Mrs. Gloria Cadiz, and my father, Mr. Junior Cadiz. I would like to thank God for the dream that he gave me. I must thank that man firstly. Secondly, I would like to thank the political leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, for the opportunity. And I can't forget these two important people in my life, my father and mother, which is here tonight, for the support and the guidance. People, I am ready to make that change. All these candidates that you are seeing here tonight, we are all ready to make that change. Isn't that so? My friends, we can't be trying to heal from things we didn't deserve to go through in the first place. As a youth who knows the pain of poverty, struggles, sufferation, rejection, and cries in the wilderness,
My concern is to seek ways of uplifting the grassroots people's lives and create avenues, especially for the youths of our country, starting here in Marbella West. I always say the youths are more precious than oil, and by not showing us that love, proper appreciation, and attention in this place, what we live in, forms a bad connection between the system and the youths. And that is where crime mainly starts. My plan for the youths is to first work with the churches to bring back Sunday school in the area. Also establish a homework center so there will be less idling around and more progress in positive ways. I would create a positive youth movement. I'm not forgetting the imperfect youths, because we all need a shoulder to lean on. And if we neglect them, the cycle will continue. We can always change the good and the bad. We can always be better at everything we do. I want to form a partnership with the people on the train line, consult with them our plans, and I even want to partner with the business people, both young and old, to develop Marbella West. I am starting my political career as the councillor for Marbella West, but my ultimate goal is to be the MP for San Fernando. I'm being real here tonight. I'm not here to wear no jacket and tie. While there is time for that, my main goal is to focus and keep hands on approach and work closely with the people on the ground. I have seen a lot of my personal associates and also youths of our country fall in the dirt. And knowing I'm not in a position where I can touch base with them to lend a helping hand bothers me a lot deep down inside. When the United National Congress was in power, everyone used to have a bread on their table. Everyone used to have a bread on their table to survive. And now everything has collapsed here in Marbella. People, we need to put God first, love ourselves, love everyone, and uplift our country. No one is perfect. I always say that. And to become the best, all depends on your mindset. So I am pleading to the people, not only of Marbella tonight, but the entire country, to stay focused and do the right thing by putting your finger by the rising sun on December the 2nd when the time comes. As I close, I would like to inform you that my office is located at number 18 New City Avenue, Marbella. And my phone number is 307-6390. Feel free to visit me at any given time. Feel free. I'm here for you, my people. Let's do this together as one. I cannot do this in 3 years' time, I'm being real, but I will build a firm foundation in Marbella West. Let's do this together. I'm young, I'm strong, Marbella West, and I have the vision. Let's go forward. UNC works, PNM talks. Talk, done.
And we're moving this time from east to west. Marabella West, ladies and gentlemen, UNC Work Nation, please welcome Fern Ramdan.
Good night, good night, good night. Special good night to the head table. Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, MP Rodney Charles, Naparima, Dr. Munilal, Dr. David Lee for Pointe-à-Pierre, and Ms. Anita Haynes, and my esteemed colleagues. Thank you for that terrific welcome. My name is Fern Ramdan, but most of you affectionately call me Texie. I am a born and bred Marabellian, a dedicated and committed athlete over the years, a member of Marabella football and cricket clubs, a successful long-distance runner with Simplex and Petrotrin Club. I am also a hard-working businessman in my community. But let me tell you something about me you may not know. I am keen to serve filled with the spirit of service, dedicated to serving you, and most importantly, dedicated to restructuring and resurrecting the Marabella community to its glory. Coming from a diverse sporting background, I have learned over the years, no matter the sport, you are as good as the players you are wronged. I will say that again. No matter the sport, you are good as the players you are wrong. Look at these winners on stage with me tonight. My colleagues and I know that having a captain like Miss Kamla Persad-Bissessar, there is no way that we can fail you. But I'm also duty-bound to inform you on our victory, and most importantly, on my position as councillor for Marabella East constituency come December 2nd. My friends, I call upon you, the entire Marabella East community, to rally behind me, your humble servant, to make a difference to the thousands of people in our community. We have many challenges in our area: poor drainage, mosquito infestation, gun violence, crime among young men in our community. Most recently, a murder of a father of 10 children, my good friend, deceased. Poor upkeep of our recreation ground, broken down basketball and netball court, Marabella Crisis Center, rickety facilities. And our community is under many financial challenges, especially with the closure of Petrotrin, a loss of many jobs affecting so many families, which the Prime Minister says he's not closing down. Lies and more lies. But Resurrection Day is knocking on your door. It's time to come together, community activists, churches, mosques, temples, business leaders, community groups. Come together and unite to get things working again in Marabella. I invite you to come on board the Work Nation train, the United National Congress Liberation train, the only party in this country dedicated in getting our country back on track. My brothers and sisters, just don't let the days count, but let the day count. Make December the 2nd count for our country. Come out and vote. Vote for change. Vote for liberation. Vote for the Work Nation crew of the City of San Fernando Corporation. Thank you, my brothers and sisters.
Ladies and gentlemen, the political leader has arrived in Marabella for Work Nation rally. Let's all stand and welcome the political leader of the United National Congress and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Ladies and gentlemen, the political leader is going to make her way shortly inside the biggest crowd in politics here in Marabella. Let's welcome Kamla Persad-Bissessar, the woman who's talking about the fourth industrial revolution, agent of change, big time, next Prime Minister and the leader to take San Fernando.
United. So my people, make December the 2nd count for our country. Come out and vote. Vote for change. Vote for liberation. Thank you, my brothers and sisters. Talk done. Action now. Good night.
Work Nation.
UNC Work Nation. Let's hear it once again, everyone. Let's hear it. And let's welcome once again our political leader. We are moving time to shine. And we're moving on with the MP for Naparima. Let's welcome Rodney Charles.
Work. Political leader and next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Fellow MPs, local government candidates, and battle-ready soldiers of the United National Congress. Today, I welcome the young, the bright, the intelligent candidates who will bring home this San Fernando City Corporation to the enlightened and caring arms of the UNC under the leadership of Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. As I look on at the youth, I see the next generation of leaders of Trinidad and Tobago. I see the future of the nation, and I can say that the United National Congress's future is in good hands. Give our young people a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, our nation is suffering at this time. We can feel it on our bones under a blight called the People's National Movement. This weekend, we had floods in Gasparillo. But no water in our pipes, no water in our reservoirs. That is the product of a blight minister of public utilities who came from Ghana to tell us his excuse that he is not a magician. Ladies and gentlemen, I come to tell you, as one who is not as young as the next generation of leaders, I come to tell you that as you are young and as you have ideas and as you are beneficiaries of GATE education, that this is not and never let it be P&M country. This is not P&M country. I want to tell you that they in the P&M believe that they alone going to heaven, and Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley is the angel Gabriel. But I want to tell the P&M that we in the UNC, we are the Lord's anointed, and no weapon formed against us shall prosper. And you know, I could finish. I could say, talk done. We have work to do. But we will rescue San Fernando from the blight that is the P&M. Before I start, we have some serious business to do. I want tonight to call on the biggest blight in Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, to apologize unreservedly to our political leader for the egregious nastiness he perpetrated on her through email gate. He has never apologized for the disrespect he did to our democracy and to our political leader. Ladies and gentlemen, he talks a hard talk, but he lacks the testicular fortitude to apologize. And I remind him that it is a sin to bear false witness against a neighbor. And I call upon him tonight in Marabella to depart from his wicked ways and repent. Ladies and gentlemen, that PNM is full of blighted people. That is why we are on a sacred mission, a spiritual mission to rescue Trinidad and Tobago. We can feel it in our bones. We cannot take it anymore. And again, as I say, I could stop and say, talk done. Here are some of the blights. We have Colm Imbert, the most unqualified Minister of Finance in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. I didn't call him a buck. I never call him a buck. I'll never do that. But I saw a meme which showed him trying to get to his car, and the water was 1 foot high. And he's so tall that he would drown. And they had a meme saying, the buck stops here. Well, I didn't say the buck in that way. We have Stuart Young, 30 murders we are headed to this year. Ladies and gentlemen, that has to be a blight. Today, I want to speak about this government, and I want to call for something. You see, the San Fernando City Corporation is going to rescue us from Faris Alwari. I call him the greatest zessa in town. He dresses, he talks a nice talk, but he lacks substance. The worst Attorney General in Trinidad and Tobago. He cannot compare with Sir Ellis Clark, who was a past Attorney General. He cannot compare with Carl Hudson Phillips, Basil Pitt, Russell Martineau, Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj. And he certainly cannot compare with our leader, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, who was a... And ladies and gentlemen, his record is losing case after case after case. He lost the first case early in the game with the Commissioner of Police appointment. And who was the lawyer who stood against him? You. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. She flogged him. She flogged him in court. Ladies and gentlemen, an attorney for the U.S. government said they had no trust in Faris Alwari. No confidence in Faris Alwari. And just last week he lost another case. You know something? If I had to fight a case, speeding, and I have to choose between Anand Ramlogan and Faris Alwari, who will I choose? Ramlogan. If I had a murder case, I wouldn't be charged for that. But so my life depended on who would I take as my lawyer? Faris Alwari or what's his name? The senator, Gerald Ramdin. Who would I take? Faris Alwari or Gerald Ramdin? So ladies and gentlemen, we know where we are going. We know where we are going with this government. But tonight, I want to get serious for a while. Before I do that, could I ask them to play the first video for me, please? If they're ready. If they're not, they're playing? Oh yes. I want you to listen to the blight. had no voice, apparently. But what that says, what he was saying, is that we have no right to privacy in Trinidad and
but which
Tobago.
our courts do not recognize. And we say that there is adequate balance in amending this definition of serious crime and putting it into effect into the law for a number of reasons. We say that there is no enshrined right that is being infringed. We say specifically that there is no right to privacy, as some people allege exists in this jurisdiction, but which our courts do not recognize.
So, ladies and gentlemen, he is saying that we have no inherent right to privacy, but yet his government is accusing the UNC for data mining and falsely saying that we are interfering with the privacy rights of citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. I want to tell you young politicians, the PNM has a strategy. They falsely accuse you of something. They tie you up in the courts for 10, 15 years. They force you to spend thousands of dollars to defend your integrity. And when you win your case, it is 10, 15 years down the line. They did it to our leader, a number of our members in the party, where they have accused you, got to charge you, and then you win the case 10 years down the line. So they want to come up with some concoction they call email gate. But I have something waiting for them. I am going to, at my expense, go to the United States and do a lie detector test and bring the results in Trinidad and Tobago that I have nothing to do with Cambridge Analytica. Nothing whatsoever. Further, tonight, I am calling on the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to investigate Dr. Rowley, Mr. Sinanan, Mr. Young, and Faris Alwari for possible data mining in 2015. I am saying this because in 2015, they used two firms, Elite Change Incorporated and Vestes Strategies. And these two companies use digital platforms to develop, and I quote, a comprehensive nationwide Get Out the Vote campaign that secured success for the PNM. I am saying to the TTPS that it must appear and be scrupulously neutral in its operations and not seem unwittingly to take instructions from one side of the political divide. I am saying that Minister Young, a senior and outspoken PNM political operative, in his ministerial capacity, wrote the TTPS requesting an investigation. And I am saying that Minister Young is not an entirely unbiased person in this process. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we note that the TTPS took 4+ years to deal with Rowley's patently false email gate, which served the PNM's political interests. While there may be valid reasons for this slough, many have formed the view that it was the result of an inherent bias. And here tonight, I want to commend Commissioner Griffith for bringing finality to this grievous injustice by Rowley and his wicked PNM, and which in part led to their victory in 2015. Now, I note that Jones, a gentleman who is one of the major players in one of these companies, he boasts that his team was made up of consultants from all over the United States, and they developed strategies and deployed a team of 12 former Obama campaign staffers to lead grassroots and digital organizing strategies. So the question I'm asking tonight is, how were these digital organizing strategies developed? How and from whom did Vestiges access the metadata used to inform these digital strategies? We all know that given the PNM's long tenure in government, they have senior operatives all over the public sector in Trinidad and Tobago. The question is, how did this US firm Vestiges Strategies and Elite Change Incorporated, how were they paid? What were the deliverables? How did they operate? Where did they access critical data? Is this not equivalent to their accusations of Cambridge Analytica? And more so, since the UNC has repeated ad nauseum that it had no dealings whatsoever with Cambridge Analytica. I asked the question, why an investigation for the goose, but not for the gander? I have been in politics long enough to know that they have never searched Balize House, but they have searched PASU office in Chaguanas. Why does the PNM get away? And I tell you tonight that the PNM, they are not squeaky clean. So ladies and gentlemen, you represent the change that we need in Trinidad and Tobago. I want you to see yourself as soldiers onward to victory under the leadership of Kamla Persad-Bissessar.
Everybody must work hard.
9 seats for San Fernando for local government election. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Member of Parliament for Oropuch East, Dr. Rudal Munila.
Thank you very much. Political leader, opposition leader, member of parliament for the constituency of Siparia, and former Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, and Dr. Gregory Bissessar. And the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you. Colleagues at the head table, parliamentary colleagues, candidates, members of the local government fraternity, and the thousands of you assembled at MARABELLA in the car park tonight, give yourselves a round of applause. And the thousands listening on the radio, through television and internet feed across the world, good night and welcome to San Fernando and MARABELLA, where the UNC bandwagon is poised to recapture the city of San Fernando on December 2nd. My brothers and sisters, I have spent 20 years campaigning for the UNC in San Fernando, and I have never come across a group of dynamic, energized, committed, dedicated, and youthful candidates as those you see on this stage. In fact, by their looks alone, they should win, but they are brilliant young people. Give them a round of applause. Tonight, I begin by indicating to you that on December 2nd, you will have a big decision to make. Some people inquire, they say, well, this is local government. It is not general election. The day after, regrettably, Keith Rowley will still be there. So they say, why do we vote as local government election and so on? But brothers and sisters, December 2nd is the most critical election that we will face in this country. We must send a message to the PNM that we are disgusted, we are frustrated, and we are living in a state of distress and despair. And December 2nd is when you must send that message. See this election historically like the invasion of Normandy in the Second World War. It was when the Allied forces were successful in invading Normandy on D-Day
that set in motion the conditions to win the Second World War. December 2nd, we will set in place the conditions to win the battle, to win the war in the general elections. So December 2nd is deadly important, and we must not be complacent. That is the beginning of the end for Keith Rowley and this band of incompetent and corrupt people running this country today. Brothers and sisters, this country is unrecognizable from the paradise that Kamla Persad-Bissessar left in September 2015. Today, as Rodney told you, you flood away in the morning and you complain you don't have water in the evening. Today, brothers and sisters in San Fernando, nearby here, you could play cricket on High Street in the middle of the day. It is a ghost town. Businesses have collapsed. The vending community complain, nobody buying. Unemployment is at its largest, its highest figure in decades in the city. And what is Junior Regrello doing? He quarreling because when he come to talk, nobody will listen when he talking. He buffing up everybody. That fella, Junior Regrello, he should call himself Junior Regretto. Because he is a regret. I want to tell the mayor, if nobody listening when you talking, it's because you're talking nonsense. Everybody listening to me tonight. But he buffing up people. Brothers and sisters, for the PNM, they manage this country. Today people don't have water. They don't have security. They don't have jobs. The children don't have schools. And they talk about getting it done. But that is the talk. That is old talk. And we must tell them tonight, talk done. If you couldn't do it, in 4 years, you cannot do it in 40 years. Talk done. They're talking about a waterfront development in San Fernando. When was the last time anybody gone down by the wharf in San Fernando? Go down tomorrow morning. It is the same set of boat, the same fishermen, eating the same buljol, drinking the same Milo. Nothing has changed. You will go down there and see 2 stray dogs and a crapo. And they put up a big sign, waterfront project. In 4 years, they have done nothing. They have done nothing. Alwari promised jobs to come. What jobs are they talking about? There's nothing happening in the city of San Fernando under this administration. It is time to remove them in Marabella, remove them in Taruba, remove them in Les Afrois, remove them in Springvale Paradise, remove them in Vista Bella, remove them throughout San Fernando. It is time they go, my brothers and sisters. But the PNM has nothing to show. A few days ago, Rohan Sinanan went down on the Mosquito Creek. I think he should go down there for the next reason. He went down on the Mosquito Creek and he take 8 fellas and they cut in a ribbon to open a diversion. They cut a ribbon to open a diversion because they are diverting traffic. When the partnership was in power and we cut a ribbon is to open the leg of a highway, to open a whole highway. That's what we did. Not to open a diversion with no shoulder. Brothers and sisters, the only thing San Fernando has seen in 10 years is the brand new spanking San Fernando Teaching Hospital, the brainchild of Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Today, that stands as living testimony to our performance in San Fernando. When we came into office, we completed the Southern Academy for the Performing Arts. We renovated and outfitted the teaching hospital in San Fernando. We had to redo it. It was an engineering challenge. We did that. We paved the roads. We provided water. We turned the sod to build housing off Cipero Street, a joint project with Republic Bank. Brothers and sisters, we were creating jobs, creating business in San Fernando. Today they have nothing to show. So what do? They talk about all kind of rubbish, hogwash, Cambridge Analytica, like somebody care about that. This weekend gone, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service was looking for a fella called Wiley Coyote. They're looking for him in England. Christopher Wiley. They can't find him. They can't find him. Gary Griffith said, well, this man has information more than anybody in Trinidad. So tell us what law was broken. Brothers and sisters, the United National Congress, the partnership government, had absolutely nothing to do with Cambridge Analytica or any of their companies. We have no contract. We have no invoice. We have no receipt. We have no correspondence. We have no love letter with Cambridge Analytica and the last administration. So Wiley is hiding. Tonight, Mr. Wiley, wherever in the world you are, wherever, I tell you tonight, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is looking for you. Please, if you are hearing me live or you get this report after, dial 482 Gary, G-A-R-Y. He's looking for you. So brothers and sisters, don't let them distract you with that nonsense because they have nothing to show. They have absolutely nothing to show. And what have they been doing in the Southland? What have they been doing? When we were there, we turned the sod, Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar and others, to construct the Point Fortin Hospital. Eric Williams promised that hospital. Kamla Persad-Bissessar turned the sod, put in place the contract arrangements with a global company called VAMED. But here what happened? We turned the sod, put in place all the loan arrangements and so on. When they came, they deliberately stalled, terminated that arrangement. And I will tell you why now. They terminated it so that they can go back and do it over to create the bubble and the corruption that the PNM is known for. That project was supposed to finish in September 2017. That is 2 years ago. Today, it cannot finish in 17, 18, 19, 20, because the PNM decided that they will go back into that project to renegotiate. So they're boasting, they're beating their chest. We lower the price, save money. You know what they do? In the Express of November 10th, recently, subcontractors take legal action in an article here. In this article from the Express, page 3, it says that PNM officials in Point Fortin told the company that they had to hire as subcontractors PNM operatives. So they hired a company called Caribbean Health and Consultancy Incorporated. They had to hire something called Regency Limited. The first company, led by somebody called Dane Francis, is on this page here. But do you know what is amazing? Subcontractors in Trinidad went to Panama and registered those companies in Panama. You building a hospital in Point Fortin, but registering in Panama to get money in Panama? Only remember John O'Halloran? We back to the days of John O'Halloran. We are back to the corruption of the PNM. So they can go in Panama outside of the financial regulations, outside of most of the banking laws and so on, and do the bubble, collect money, and pay to whoever they want. And Trinidad and Tobago will never know. So tonight I call for an investigation into this allegation of corruption at the Point Fortin Hospital project, where Trinidad companies, registered in Panama, collecting money that you, the taxpayers, will have to pay for in the days ahead. That is why they did not want to complete the Point Fortin Hospital in September 2017. Brothers and sisters in San Fernando, I want to tell you briefly, while they were suspending people, while they were firing daily paid workers in San Fernando, the city corporation said they have no money. Do you know that they were hiring the children of officials in the city corporation in City Hall? Their children are working at City Hall, being paid, and I understand one is in UE. One person being paid in City Hall is in UE, undertaking studies and being paid in City Hall. Children of officials in that place, and the people in San Fernando cannot get water. They cannot get a street light in San Fernando. That is what they're using their monies for. brothers and sisters, but the one that will suggest to you that is complete madness is the car park project in San Fernando. You see, brothers and sisters, what they did, those of you who live in San Fernando will know down by the wharf, there was a sawmill. They removed that and built a car park. They used taxpayers' money, hundreds of thousands, to build this car park. When they build the car park now, they lease it out to one of the partners. And the partner paying a rent of $10,000 per month to run this car park. And the partner making $100,000 per month and paying $10,000 per month as rent. So their profit is $90,000 per month. And you, the taxpayer, paid for the car park, brothers and sisters. That is what is happening in the city of San Fernando. And they tell the people in Pleasantville, they tell the people in Marabella that they don't have money for goods and services in the city. So brothers and sisters, it is incumbent upon you to come out in your numbers. Come out in your numbers on December 2nd and end this madness that is taking place. End this madness that is taking place in San Fernando, in Cuba, where the PNM want to make an inroad. We control Cuba and we must get 100% of the electoral seats there. Brothers and sisters, in Penal-Debe, the good news is we are working hard, and I believe that we will return all 10 local government seats in Penal-Debe. We will beat them in Penal-Debe. You must stand strong and defeat them in San Fernando. Cuba will be mobilized for victory. Chaguanas will be mobilized for victory, so that on December 2nd, we will invade the PNM space. We will invade like the invasion of Normandy. And that will set in train the events of the months and the weeks ahead, when we will retake the government of this country and put it in the safe and caring hands of the Member of Parliament for Siparia and the former Prime Minister and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
Job done. Work nation. Everybody must work.
9 seats for the corporation in San Fernando and 9 for the United National Congress. This is the UNC Work Nation. Let's welcome the Public Relations Officer of the UNC, Anita Haynes.
Good night to the political leader of the United National Congress and the next Prime Minister of this great Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Ms. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Good night to the very distinguished head table, members of Parliament for Naparima, Rodney Charles, and Member of Parliament for Urupuch East, Dr. Rudal Munilal. And now, I am going to recognize the people of the hour, our future councillors in all the regional corporations in South and Central Trinidad. And when I call your name, I want you to sound like all you win already. Siparia Regional Corporation, good night. Princestown Regional Corporation, good night. Cuba Tabaquital Power Regional Corporation, good night. Chaguanas Borough Corporation, good night. Point 14 Borough Corporation, good night. And San Fernando City Corporation, time to bring the house down. Good night. Penal-Debe Regional Corporation, I didn't forget all. Ladies and gentlemen, you know there are people out there that will still dare to say that the UNC is not an attractive party. But from where I stand here tonight, we are the only attractive party in this country. We are the people that will make the future of Trinidad and Tobago bright. Ours is a party that never stops working for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And now, the people of Marabella, here in your thousands, are saying, we want a UNC government back in power. We want to get Trinidad and Tobago working again. In the past 4 years, all this PNM administration, this Keith Rowley administration, has been able to do is deliver old talk. Years and years of old talk. Imagine, people will come and say, we need jobs, I am unemployed. And Imbert will turn and tell them, the economy turn around. They are gaslighting us. Every time we name a problem, they are telling us, no problem over here. Don't look, nothing to see over here. These are the same people that shut down Petrotrin and then came in the parliament to say unemployment numbers are steady. There's no unemployment problem in this country. They have to be mad people. But we are not talking about numbers. We are talking about people. People who need to put food on the table for their families. People who need to send their children to school. People like you, people like me, the people that they do not care about in this country. Imagine, we said to them, there are not enough beds in the hospital. Open the Coover Children's Hospital. And these petty people rather spend money to change the name of the hospital than to open the Coover Children's Hospital because it was Kamla Persad-Bissessar's brainchild. They're too wicked. People are telling them, give the police more resources. Give the police what they need to make our country safe again. And you know what they tell us? We don't have a crime problem. But imagine you could get shot on your way to work in Trinidad and Tobago today. And they still want to sit there and tell us we don't have a crime problem, that the numbers will go down eventually. They are mad people. So, on December 2nd, ladies and gentlemen, it will be our turn, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, our turn to talk and to tell them, talk done now. Ladies and gentlemen, Rodney Charles told us here tonight about Emailgate, and he called on the Prime Minister, Dr. Rowley, the man who orchestrated that entire thing, somewhere in his house, sat down with his copybook pages, writing down a story that he brought to Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. Rodney called on him to apologize, but I call on him to call the election that you won on a lie, on a blatant lie. Imagine, these people stood there and made an entire political campaign on 4 copybook pages. In Parliament, Dr. Munilal called him a fabricator, but we're not in Parliament today, so we could call him what he is, a liar, ladies and gentlemen. He is a liar. Keith Rowley is a man living in his own reality, surrounded by a set of yes men who will tell him anything he needs to hear to stroke his ego. Imagine, after it has been proven to be a lie, Faris Alwari wants to come and tell us the email's wrong, the content, but we still have to investigate. And that is the man we send in to win cases first. We shouldn't send him anywhere. Rowley wanted us to believe that he had information that a sitting prime minister, senior members of government, all sat down and plot murder, a conspiracy to murder. And instead of taking that to the police, you know what he did? He sat down with it at home. He think about it once or twice. Then he carried by the president. When he find nothing wasn't happening, he carried it to Parliament. He cannot be a serious human being. If you thought somebody was plotting conspiracy to murder, where was the first place he was going? Not the police? So he had to know he was lying, making things up. Imagine, I mean, you see what they do. Look at how he's protecting his partner, Mr. Tempted to Touch Himself, Daryl Smith. All of them band together to hide one big man from the police investigation. But they want to send Cambridge Analytica by the police. But Daryl Smith, they could hide from the police. They have to get out of here now. They don't care about governing this country. They don't care about jobs. They don't care about our healthcare system that is failing. They don't care about our safety. They only care about holding on to power by any means necessary. So you know what they did? They decided to take 2. You see, they spent 4 years doing nothing for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And so last week, you had Faris Alwari, the landlord in general, the $23 million man himself. He had to use Waze and Google Maps to find San Fernando because he forgot this constituency once he got elected. And after 4 years, not coming to San Fernando, came here to waste all of our time on a political platform and tell us stories. But not to be left out, his partner, Stuart Young, hold an entire press conference the very next day to come and read from a storybook. The man sat down there in front of the press and held up a storybook. He could not find time to visit flood victims. He could not find time to visit the fishermen in Cali Bay. He could not find time for anything that is his actual business and national security. But you know what he has time for? He has time for Netflix, Facebook, and storybooks. And I want to say to Stuart Young tonight, if we are paying you as a Minister of National Security to watch Netflix and to be on Facebook and to read storybooks, we want our money back now. You are wasting our money and you are wasting our time, and our people are dying. It's not the first time I have had to say that Stuart Young spends far too much time on Facebook. Anything you put on Facebook, he muck with. Any little chance he gets, he trying to tell you what status you could put, what status you can't put, what is seditious. But he cannot tell us what is the national crime plan yet. As people are dying, anytime there's a photo up with the Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith, Stuart Young finding himself there to try and get a little bly from Gary. Stuart Young, you are the worst Minister of National Security we have ever had in this country. This man is supposed to be a lawyer. He's supposed to be somebody who has some kind of critical thinking skills. Imagine, as he was reading the book, all that said to me is he doesn't even have basic common sense. He can't figure out to discern something that may be true and what is a lie. And I want to ask Stuart Young, how much Wiley pay you to promote his book? Nobody was buying that book if Young didn't sit down in that press conference and read out pages, you know. So if you know you can't make as Minister of National Security and you want to promote fictional material, quit the job and pick up the one that you really want so you could go and promote books left, right, and center. I want to tell the population of Trinidad and Tobago again. Dr. Munilal said it, Rodney Charles said it. The United National Congress had nothing to do with Cambridge Analytica. What they are trying to do is peddle a blatant lie, Trinidad and Tobago. The story that they are saying, they didn't even take the time to read the details. They are saying it is like the American model with the Breitbart phenomenon in the American elections. Let me tell you all something. That Breitbart model is the using social media to spread misinformation to our public so that they will put on your Facebook articles that appear to be true, but it's all lies. We have an example of that in Trinidad and Tobago. It's called Emailgate. If it's anybody following the Cambridge Analytica model in Trinidad and Tobago, it is the People's National Movement. They did it before and they won the election, and they should investigate that. Imagine when Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar on October 11th rest a plan on them and shake out the election date. All these people could come up with like chicken licking is storybooks, children fantasies, and tell us that is what we deserve as a population. This light bulb gang is clueless. They are not serious about life and they do not deserve any of our time, Trinidad and Tobago. You have government ministers using official platforms, official government social media and traditional media platforms to peddle political propaganda. You understand what they are doing? They are using our taxpayer money, our taxpayer time, when they are supposed to be minding our business, to mind P&M business. To mind P&M business. This goes beyond politics. It is dangerous. They are a demented bunch of people who will do anything for power, and we have to get them out. They are irresponsible and they are reckless. Imagine Young had press conference. Haynes tried to call a press conference, but like they call him back and tell him cancel that, so he didn't get his chance. But Indarsingh is hiding from us and will not give us the H1N1 facts. This is a government that we can elect. Do they care about any of us? People are dying of the H1N1 virus. And they have time to look for Wiley. And they have time to hold press conference on all kinds of nonsense, but will not give us the facts on H1N1. They are spending our time and their energies calling on investigations for political opponents. They are a dangerous bunch. This is a government that is absent of any leader. They practice a politics of deception. They should never be successful in this country again. They boast time and time again that they know how to win elections. They may know how to win elections or thief elections, but I can tell you they do not know how to govern Trinidad and Tobago. Look at the state that we are in. They will lie about anything. Imagine, you have grown men and women who hold political power now lying about crowd sizes. They could come here and tell us 18,000 people was in the Queen's Park Savannah on the 10th of November. None of them know 18,000 people, so where they get 18,000 people to register from? And they knew they could get away with that lie because all the people of Trinidad and Tobago were in Cuba on the 10th. So they're trying to get away with a smack shot. They're terrorizing CPEP and URP workers to make sure they register for the events, have them going up and down this country. You see, these people are wicked and dangerous people. They have delivered nothing in 4 years, nothing but excuses, nothing but failure. But yet still, imagine, after spending years telling us Trinidad and Tobago have no money, Trinidad and Tobago poor, the country where everybody had to tighten their belt. This same PNM administration finding tens of millions of dollars to spend on an advertising campaign for the local government election. So the PNM rich and Trinidad and Tobago poor, that is what they're trying to tell us. Every radio station, TV station right now is advertising PNM political propaganda and ministry information that is PNM propaganda disguised as government information. And I want to ask them today, where they get our money from? That is raffle ticket money. That is rent-a-block money. Where they get that money from? How much barbecue you could sell to raise tens of millions of dollars for an advertising campaign for a local government election? But I am here to tell them today, no amount of ads. You see, because while they're on the airwaves, while they're looking for Wiley, the United National Congress is in every single community in Trinidad and Tobago. You saw them in Silots, you see them in San Fernando, you see us in Grandy. We can't pass PNM people walking nowhere. They're ashamed to wear a shirt with a balize on it, but they will put ads on the airways because they could only spend money to try to fix their problem. But on December 2nd, ladies and gentlemen, we must show our disgust with this administration, and we must tell them, we must come out in our numbers to save our country and tell them, talk done.
Everybody must work. Work. Everybody must work. Work hard. 'Cause if you're not to work, work nation.
It's about creating the jobs so people can sustain themselves and their families. Are you ready to get TNT working again?
Welcome to the house of the rising sun. The door is always open. Morning has broken. The people have spoken. A nation has chosen. Welcome to the house of the rising sun. We're united together, we're moving a mountain. Better days are coming, so stand and be counted. Who fixing the road? Who fixing the train? Who helping the poor? Who is in the bed? Bring education.
UNC Work Nation, this is the time to shine tonight in Marabella for local government elections 2019. Let's all rise, let's all rise, let's all rise and welcome the one and only political leader of the United National Congress and former Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Kamla Persad-Bissessar.
Thank you all very much. Thank you. Say good evening to all of you. Good evening, UNC Posse. Good evening. To all my colleagues on the platform and in the audience, all our winning candidates are here with us tonight, and we shall meet each one in a short while as we present them here in the Southland. You know, when the San Fernando team agreed to hold this meeting, we had to decide which venue should be used. So several suggestions came out. And in the end, the majority agreed to come here at this car park. So they sought my final approval. And the message I sent back, approved, but pray it does not rain. Thank you, God. No rain in this open car park tonight. No rain in this open, and this place is jammed and packed. So thank you all for coming out. Thank you so much for showing your support here at this car park in Marabella. And whilst it's a time for rejoicing for us, coming together, uniting together to make sure we remove the wicked rowdy regime out of office once and for all. So that is talk done for them. As young Mikael told us, action on our part. So whilst that is great, we are in Marabella. We are in the home and the headquarters of what used to be Petrotrin. You know, when I'm coming home, when I work and go to town and coming back, anytime you see the flare, you know you nearly reach home. For all in the Southland, that was a beacon, that was a flagship for Trinidad and Tobago and for us from the South. But this wicked and incompetent government, lying government, sue me, because I know I'm right, I'm justified, lying Prime Minister. You have seen the videos in his own words when he told a meeting and they're all giggling and skinning and grinning. There's ministers there with him and whoever. And he's on the platform saying to every man, woman and child in Trinidad and Tobago, Petrotrin will not be closed down by the government. The government will not close down Petrotrin. You hear lie? That was the biggest lie in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. The closure of Petrotrin was the greatest blunder in our independent history. And then the man so lying. He said, in case you were closing your fridge door and you did not hear me, let me tell you again. Every man, woman and child, the government will not close down Petrotrin. We are in the South, we know the value. But Petrotrin was not only valuable to the South, it was the flagship of our entire nation. It was a mainstay of our economy. You closed it down. You closed it down when you told every man, woman, and child, look, Anita told you they're mad. She told you about their lies. I think they are just totally incompetent and wicked. They care only for themselves. They have no care for the ordinary people of Trinidad and Tobago. Tell me why you will stop the laptop program. Tell me why. You know why? Because they could buy laptop for their children. But the rest of you, you're not entitled. Your children must get that education. All their programs and policies, even though we know they have no plan, but whatever they have done was to bring sufferation to the people throughout the length and breadth of this country. And so tonight, as I greet you all, as we get prepared, we have been having some very hectic days as you have been having. And what I'm seeing in this election, we might have had it in others, but more so in this election time, I am seeing leaders arising in every community. I've seen leaders being uplifted in every community. Because this campaign is not Kamla's campaign, this is a people's campaign, it is your campaign in the communities and on the ground. And so I see teams in every part of Trinidad and Tobago. I see everywhere is a sea of yellow everywhere you go. And yesterday I was up in the east, Saturday I was up in the east, in Mayaro and then in Mafkin and Kernahan, as I've been in other districts. And the groundswell of support was tremendous coming out of those districts. But thank God for social media, because every time the councillor is walking, the candidate is walking, we see the teams on the ground. So all of you candidates here tonight, congratulations. Congratulations to you. And so it is a tremendous team effort. I want to thank all the coordinators, because what we did, we shared up the work. So for every set of seats or every region, we have several coordinators, and the candidates are definitely working. So can we give a round of applause to our hard-working coordinators? Coordinators comprising MPs and senators, national executive members, and other activists are there with you on the ground. It will take me too long to name all of them, because you know them anyway as candidates, who they are, and the work that they're doing. But before I continue, I really must spend a moment to celebrate the life of a very great man and the legacy that he has left us. I want to pause for a moment to join with the rest of the nation in remembering a giant of a man who spent his life in service to TNT. I have dubbed him a national icon, Sri Satnarayan Maharaj. I know there are some who have their own view, but no one, not a single person, can deny that Sat was a true warrior. He stood up for equality and justice, and he worked hard throughout his life to build on his vision for education. You know, without Sat and the SDMS, many children could not have had an education in the years gone by without giving up their faith. In the early days, if you wanted to go to a school, if you even wanted to be a teacher in a non-Hindu school, you had to give up your religion in order to get that job or to get that space. Again, without pioneers like Sat, we would not have had educational institutions for the Hindu community. And even today, the SDMS schools are not limited to Hindus. Every creed, every race, every religion and beliefs, they are all welcome within the SDMS schools. You will see them yourself. A school that I was responsible for having constructed in my own constituency, the Shiva Boys, I see today they've won a report that they've won a scholarship, of course. But we also see the Shiva Boys, the football team, yes, always doing so well in the national competitions. And there's one school in particular, a school where I had my first job after I graduated from university. We called it a see-through school because there were no windows and there were no doors. When the rain fell, the rain would beat in. The Lakshmi Girls Hindu School. They continue to produce students who excel. Again, a fitting tribute to the great man, Sat Maharaj and the SDMS. It was announced that Celine Rudal, Lakshmi Girls College, as well as Shivani Ramprasad Maharaj of NAPS Girls, are the recipients of this year's President's Medals. Congratulations to them, and congratulations to the other 400 students who obtained scholarships. I could pay tribute to one I know who is close to me. Aidan, congratulations on obtaining your scholarship. And our councillor's son, his name, Abhishek Ramnarayan, and the others, all 400 national scholarship winners. But I want to talk a little about the scholarship winner from Lakshmi Girls School, because I had cause, along with others, to be at the Lakshmi School and at the headquarters of the Mahasabha fairly recently. And Mr. Sat Maharaj, in giving his speech, he said, look up on the wall. You will see the photographs of the scholarship winners. And he said, I see 5 photographs of scholarship winners. But we said, but everybody, no, sir, there's only 4. There are only 4 pictures, photographs of the girls winning scholarships. Today, what he predicted has come true as the 5th consecutive winner of a President's Medal was announced. So congrats to them and to Sat. Sat would have been very proud for this. This is what he stood for. He was a true patriot. And even though at times we disagreed, we didn't always see eye to eye, but what is a little difference in a family? You agree? In your own family, you fall out, but the main thing is you fall back in. Yes. That is where there's true love. So we might fight. There are things we'll disagree on, but we do love each other. I pray, Sat, that your soul attains moksha, and I'm confident that your son Vijay will fly the flag just as high as you have trained him to do. So to Vijay and the entire family, the UNC family expresses our condolences, and we pledge our support continued to the Mahasabha. So let's get back to the elections now, this local election. As the countdown continues to this December 2nd poll, the UNCs continue to meet with people to hear their concerns. All the candidates here tonight who have spoken, I listened to them on my way here, and they were all fighters. They were telling you what they believed in, that they wanted to serve. Give the San Fernando team a round of applause. They are focused and committed. And that is how all our candidates who are here tonight, South and Central, have joined us, committed and dedicated to serving the people. The UNC is focused on uplifting lives, the lives of your children. And so we want to hear how we can help you. I've always said we listen and then we lead. And that's why I've asked the candidates and their teams when they go in the field to listen. And I was very impressed to hear the candidates speaking here tonight, that they were telling you about the things in their own communities, in their own districts, in their walkabouts that they've been learning, and of course living in this community. And so our team, the other team, look, I don't want to talk about them, because we have much more important things to talk about our plans. Because all they're doing, they're spewing hatred. They're spewing division and venom. Every time they speak, you ever see them smile? No, it's always anger and hate. Vex. Well, they say who vex, lost. So friends, they're up and down the country twice a week, and zillion times on the radio and the TV. Yes? I think when you turn on your radio, as soon as one ad finishes, the next one, and well, people are telling me they just turn off the radio now. They stop listening to radio. Because it's just repeat, 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 repeat. And from what I understand, it seems as though Keith Christopher Rowley, it seems as though he's come down with a case of the flu, so we wish him recovery. I will not say he got the pip. I wouldn't say that at all. The man is a human, so I wish him a full recovery. But what they cannot deny is their incompetence and their failure. We cannot trust them. They're busy holding press conferences, as Anita told you, on fairy tales and storybook stories. They cannot report an account to the nation about how many people are affected who have died because of the H1N1. Twice a week, they're bringing and bombarding us with their lies, broadcasting propaganda on all channels. But they know the people have turned against them. They are now like cornered and wounded animals politically. And you know, when you say an animal is cornered and wounded, that is a desperate political animal now, vicious. They will bite at anything which comes in their way, even if it's a helping hand. That is the state of the Rowley regime right now. They are in their 5th and last year of government. They have delivered nothing. In fact, they have taken away. And now with the elections in the air, they are desperate people. They have mounted a sustained campaign of demonizing the UNC. They can come with whatever they want to come, because I think people are seeing through them now like you're watching through glass. When I read comments on social media and Facebook, every single person commenting, under the news articles about the lies and the fairy tales of Faris and Stewart. People are saying, well, you know, PNM in power, they deliver nothing, but they come to divert, distract, and lie on everyone else. Tonight, like my colleagues have done, I totally and categorically and absolutely in every single way, in 100% of my being, say the UNC had absolutely nothing to do with Cambridge Analytica. Absolutely nothing. I see this as another desperate and cornered regime. They know you are fed up of them, so they have to find something to scare you, like what they did with the email gate, as Anita has talked about. Just when they started the campaign, the Prime Minister stood on a platform. What did he talk about? He come to talk about assassination attempt in 2014 or 15. Trying to imply that the UNC tried to kill him. Look, I don't have to kill him, you know. He's doing that himself with his lies and his incompetence. And I speak of politically killing himself. So he said, 2015, the UNC assassination attempt and so on. Well, who was in government then? The same UNC he seemed to be accusing of trying to assassinate him. It's the same UNC who was in government. It was the same UNC who sent the police. It was me who told the police, go and tell the man. One day he said it in the parliament, and he came and he said, they told him, the assistant commissioner came and tell him, Prime Minister, tell him to come and say, somebody, there's a threat on your life. So he's blaming the UNC as being the perpetrators of the attempts. And on the other hand, it was this no logic, no reasoning on their part. So I see it here, Emailgate. This is like Emailgate 3 or 4 or 5. And they will have more before this election is done. And they will have more before the general election. So do not get distracted. Do not be fooled with your lies and your desperate attempts to distract you from the real issues. That's what this is about. That's what this Cambridge Analytica is about. And therefore, the funny thing, they thought they had a bombshell. They're going to kill Kamla politically and kill the UNC politically. Big press, Faris started it in the meeting in San Fernando. Next morning, Stewart picked it up and run it for the whole day. And I heard he went into the night because he went on TV after to spread Cambridge Analytica. And you know what people telling me? Who the hell cares? Who the hell really cares? I want water. I want a job. I want good roads. I want food for my children. Who cares? And the thing is, we lost that election anyhow. So what is the big story and the big news? This is all about. We had nothing to do with it. I've been on the campaign trail with my very capable, qualified candidates everywhere, from Grundy down to Superior to Mayaro. We'll be coming in other areas, but our teams are there. I will be joining other teams. I intend on Wednesday to go into the Princetown Corporation with the candidates there, and with Michelle, and I see them here. Michelle Benjamin, stand up. Sean, I see Joseph Laurent, Derek, Chris. Give them a round of applause, some of the Princetown candidates. Others in the crowd, if you're here, stand up. Yes, there's Sean. So I'm going to be joining them. This is a new candidate, Alvin Daniel, for the Princetown Corporation. And here's Rafi, the not so new, the evergreen veteran, also from Princetown. I will join you guys and your coordinators and activists on Wednesday to do a drive-through and to meet and greet our constituents there. I intend to do the same in Chaguanas at another date. I will go into all the corporations with our candidates and meet as many people as we can. So I am, as Anita said, we are looking at a different campaign. Yes, we're on air tonight, but we don't have every radio station. We don't have every TV station. We're on air. The best media is free media, streaming live. So let's thank Atlantic Computers. They've done a great job in streaming us live, and the others doing it. So our campaign is not an air campaign. Can we thank the team from Ian Allen's network as well? Streaming live. Our campaign is a ground campaign. Rudy talked about World War II. How do you win a war? Yes, you have air bombardment, but you really win it on the ground with your troops, with your foot soldiers. It's on the ground. And this election, teams are out on the ground. Everywhere you go. And thank you for posting up what you do. Now, what have they to offer us? They have the Coming Soon manifesto. They're in their 50th year of government, yes? They are in their 50th year of government. Their fifth and last year of government. What do they have to show for it? What do they have to show? As I said, they're coming soon. They see that the writing is on the wall for them politically, and therefore, cutting ribbon, as we told you, turning, start doing everything, coming soon, coming soon, coming soon. Oh God, yes, 4 years. What do you have to show for the $250 billion you spent? Where the money gone? What have you done with that money? And as we've been showing you, all they can do is talk, 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 talk. Show me what they do. Talk, 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 talk. We say, talk. What do we say? Done, talk, done, time for action. Are you better off today than you were in 2015? Food prices have skyrocketed. Do you have water in your taps? Do you have flooding everywhere? Have you lost your jobs? Over 100,000 persons under this regime, Rowley. Do your children have laptops? Do they get laptops in school? Can you find a bed and a space in a hospital? You see people lying in the corridors. And so look right here in Claxton Bay. Where's Nadia? That's your area? Flooding just this weekend here and elsewhere. And of course the criminals are just everywhere running rampage. They don't care about you. And as I said to you before, Petrotrin, we must never ever forget, and we must never ever forgive the Rowley regime for closing down Petrotrin. Never ever. Our plan in close when we form the next government, the new UNC government, will work with stakeholders and we will get that refinery up and running again. Everything they touch turns into dust. They say they don't have money. They never have money. When it comes to buying laptops for children, when it comes to providing hospital care, when it comes to doing anything, they say they don't have money. But they found money for other things. $130 million on the Taruba Stadium. $2 million for a new PM1 Benz motor car. $3.5 million for the CL Financial sexual harassment matter. $440 million for Red House. $174 million for Bucco Estate. $400 million to restore buildings around the savannah, including classes, and that was just for the man to make his book cover come true from Mason Hall to Whitehall. He did work on Whitehall so he could say, hey, I didn't lie on the cover of my book. $15 million for trade unions. $150 million for Diego Martin Stadium that we are told, we are advised, went to a sole selected contractor. $16 million Washington lobbyist Art Collins. $3 million in paintings. $30 million to a company called Grand Base and Lucia, a toilet paper company. $59,000 Romaine bill for Shamfa. $92,000 Darrell Smith for a romping weekend in Tobago. $150,000 for an alleged sex scandal case involving the same government minister. $275 million to buy out Massey Communications. $20 million to Ernest & Young for audits. $10.5 million for Price Waterhouse audits. $3 million for a fashion project for the man who provides the Prime Minister's suits. $20 million for the Prime Minister's house in Tobago. $12 million Jazz Festival. $3 million for the golf course. $0.25 million for the South Golf Course. $2.5 million for a FET match to open the Brian Lara Stadium. And the list goes on, $100 million for fake oil. Shut down Petrotrin to hide the documents that you can't get your friend, your bestie, your friend. You shut down the whole of Petrotrin. $13 million for Cabo Star mobilization. $20 million mobilization for Ocean Flower. $60 million, look, $60 million for repair. I could go on and you have more you could add to this list. I'm sure there's much more, but they never have money. But it's where their priorities lie. Their priorities are not about people and about caring for people. Their priorities have to do with what we call these fancy projects, showpieces and showcases. They have wrecked the economy. As I told you, over 100,000 people have lost their jobs. They have not introduced a single program or initiative to create jobs in our country. I think it was young Rishi on our platform here tonight who said he read an article about the demise of the Southland. They have decimated the South as they have decimated the North, the East, West, the whole island of Trinidad and the island of Tobago decimated. So, December 2, you are not just voting for new UNC representatives, local government. We know the services your councillors provide are important, but this election, in my view, and as others have told you tonight, this is a chance to show Rowley that enough is enough, that they must go, Rowley must go, and all of them must go. This is a chance. You have had enough of their lies. You have had enough of their empty promises. You have had enough of their incompetence and their arrogance. You have had enough of the utter and complete failure of a government, the worst corrupt government in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. And so in this election, you do have a choice. There are many things that we started. Rudy has told you. I will not repeat those achievements for you tonight. But I do want to tell you our plans as we go forward, because that is what is important to everyone. I heard Mikael and the others sharing some of their plans when you elect them as candidates. Good plans that we will continue to develop when they become your councillors. So here we are. What we will do as a new UNC government is to implement our national economic transformation plan. We have 12 strategic prosperity engines spread across everywhere in the country. One of those I'll talk about tonight because it's about us here in the South and the Southwest. And that is to create the Southwest Peninsula Economic Zone. We'll invite private investors to create a special development zone linking Cedros to Moruga, which will become the major economic hub in the Southwest Peninsula. This will not only limit the movement of illegal drugs and weapons and illegal migration of people who filter through the Southwest Peninsula, but this will also help us tap into the future strong growth possibilities in nearby Guyana and Suriname. The Cedros-Moruga Economic Zone will comprise a commercial port, agro-processing facilities for coconut, Moruga Hill rice and scorpion pepper, ecotourism tapping into the potential of the scenic bays along the Columbus Channel, real estate, housing, and other business activities, as well as we will place there a military base in the Southwest Peninsula. Investors, when you want, where will I get the money? Investors will be required to fully finance their own projects in this special economic development zone. The government, the UNC government, will provide the necessary support needed to fast-track implementation of the plans and as well as granting of tax incentives. So we will give what the government can. We don't have to put out money. And the private investors will bid. We'll do it properly. And we will proclaim the public procurement law. We will proclaim that law that the PNM has on a shelf for the 5 years so they go carry on their bubble and their corrupt things. We will use proper procurement legal procedures. In addition, we will extend the Point Fortin Highway. Of course, we'll have to complete it because these people just dropped it. Complete the Point Fortin Highway and extend it all the way to Cedros. This is what a new government will do. So, we will upgrade, whilst we do Cedros down there, we will upgrade the road network to Moruga. I'm saying the Southwest Zone, Moruga, Cedros, Cedros, Moruga. More important for some of you in San Fernando, we will also construct a new highway from San Fernando to Mayaro. So we'll open up the entire Southlands. We have a lot of great land. I was in Mayaro yesterday, very beautiful, scenic We can develop that Mayaro area there for tourism, local tourism. So you don't have to go Grenada or one of the islands. You could just go down Mayaro. We will develop there for tourist investment. And we will also use the St. Madeleine Sugar Manufacturing Complex. You know, since currently closed, some 15 years ago, our country spent over $300 million a year to import sugar and sugar products. Something which we produced here and exported to the world. Again, another PNM government closed down Caroni, just as this PNM government closed down Petrotrin. And so we spent $300 million a year to import sugar and sugar products. That is foreign exchange. And therefore, it is something we can grow and manufacture. We have the skills, we have the land, we have the climate, and so we will get private sugarcane farmers to use their lands as they did before and sell that cane to the St. Madeleine Sugar Manufacturing Complex. When we do that, we can then export sugar. We can save $300 million to use it for something else, such as healthcare, education, roads, and infrastructure. We will invite private investors to establish a new state-of-the-art cooperative sugar manufacturing company at UC St. Madeleine. This new sugar company will purchase sugarcane grown, as I said, by private farmers at market-based prices, and we will produce organic raw sugar and products like jaggery. You know what is that? Any cane farmer, old daughter here, we find out what it is, jaggery, and we'll sell it to the domestic market and to export markets and earn well-deserved foreign exchange. In doing that too, what are we doing? Creating jobs. And I told you part of my vision, my mission, when you put us back in government, is to create over 50,000 new jobs. And to do it without raising a single new tax. This government has taxed you and they've taxed you and they've taxed you. And not a job has been created except 100,000 so far and counting. Because another plan, Yara, I'm being told, is set to close in December. So we will provide the support required. Again, we will not finance this, so we don't have to find that financing money, but we'll give the support that we can in equity in terms of the assets of our country. Private investors will bid again and bring their own monies in. Let's talk about San Fernando, because we are talking about the local government election for the city of San Fernando. And I have a vision, and we have a vision, for the revitalization of San Fernando, that we will make San Fernando the innovation capital of Trinidad and Tobago. So we will target the city to be the innovation capital. San Fernando has some of the brightest minds and a very high concentration of graduates. It can no longer be called the industrial capital because, as you know, the PNM destroyed Petrotrin. And so our plan includes revitalizing San Fernando by using the untapped human intellectual asset and invest in innovation. We will develop the San Fernando waterfront. As Rudy told you, you go down there and you're seeing the same things. Nothing happening under the PNM except promises never materialize. We will develop that waterfront to attract information technology companies with attractive offices, recreational spaces, and housing spaces. The UNC will create a new digital transformation agency, DTA, Digital Transformation Agency, to cut across all ministries as the implementation arm. This new DTA will be located in San Fernando. No longer will each ministry pursue its own modernization effort. So you have this scattering, duplication, and wastage of money with each ministry. A single DTA, Digital Transformation Agency, will lead a coordinated program to efficiently and effectively move government services into the technology age using cloud and other modern IT services. We will hold discussions with the government of India and other governments on developing our IT service sector and the digitization of government
as India has a huge IT sector and service companies which can bring their technology and knowledge to bear in this area. So locating the DTA in San Fernando will harvest this unused intellectual asset and kickstart the development of the IT sector, not only for Trinidad and Tobago, but we will use here to leapfrog into the entire Caribbean region. We'll be a leader in this digital age in information technology. Already we have seeded our space in the oil and gas industry. We'll be overtaken as the leaders in the Caribbean by Guyana. Therefore, we have to move with the times. We have to go into the fourth industrial revolution. We have to go into the IT age. And this is one avenue I see for taking us as a flagship project here and in the Caribbean. This is a project I see that will create jobs, and more jobs, whilst we innovate. Not just San Fernando, but the whole of Trinidad and Tobago. So, what are the plans for San Fernando? I talk about the Innovation Center. I see San Fernando as becoming a world-class tourist destination as well. And so, we will build a first-class hotel and conference center on that waterfront. The resort hotel will be part of our developing Trinidad as a tourist destination, and we will reveal more on diversifying TNT as a premier tourist destination. The current plans by the Rowley regime for the San Fernando waterfront is unimpressive and myopic and will not do anything for revitalizing San Fernando. The UNC's plan is to include revitalizing High Street, revitalizing Broadway, and revitalizing the shopping centers. This will create thousands of well-paying jobs, not only for graduates, but also those in services, in maintenance, and support of the hotel and office towers. In addition to creating new recreational space on the Envision waterfront, we will upgrade the San Fernando Hill, which is a flagship. When you come into San Fernando, the first thing you see is the San Fernando Hill. We will develop that to host events, to create additional recreational spaces with play parks, restaurants. We'll transform the current space at the top of the hill into a beautiful recreational space. We will consider the feasibility of opening up and using the upper plateau of the hill. And to alleviate the main problem, this may sound like pie in the sky, but it's not. The main problem of the hill is the parking problem, that when you get up there. And so we will consider and speak with stakeholders to see whether we can build a cable car system from the base of the hill to take you up to the top of the San Fernando Hill. So the hill will become the go-to destination, not just for us in Trinbago, but also as an international tourist destination. The old Petrotrin Staff Club, with the pool, the tennis courts, the golf course, we'll put it out for tender and receive bids, invite the public, private investors, to come in and operate it as a public club, which is open to the public of Trinidad and Tobago. This will open up previously underutilized recreational facilities to all San Fernandans and beyond. What it will also do, again, create jobs, create spaces. My plan, my vision, my mission is to create jobs for people throughout the land. And once we do all of this, of course, there are other plans. These are just cherry-picking some in the interest of time. We must not forget those in areas that are traditionally forgotten because they are tucked away into their little area, and the P&M dependency syndrome is prevalent, and the P&M neglect is prevalent. So I'm looking at the development of Ambacadere as well. We'll develop Ambacadere beachfront by cleaning it, developing fishing facilities and cold storage depot. Residents can then get into fishing in a bigger way, not only to feed themselves, but of course to earn income from their catch. But we won't just leave it for that. We'll also open it as recreational and commercial spaces. Will also be built along the beachfront area and the mini boardwalk, which we shall build. Now, you know something? If you travel, I've traveled somewhat, and you go to countries, everywhere there is water. There is activity, there's business, and we are surrounded by water. And here we are, San Fernando, ideally located with a beachfront ride in Marabella down to San Fernando. When you go, people who are landlocked, they don't have sea around their water, but they have a river. Along that river will be restaurants, will be recreational spaces, creating jobs, activity, spinning the economy. That is my vision along that waterfront, but it doesn't stop here. When we were building the highway along the creek there, I told then Minister Brooks, Dr. Ramachan, that whilst you build the highway, leave a space on the land side, not the seaside, leave spaces along it that we can develop it, and I've seen a ribbon development along there. Again, recreational spaces, restaurants, sporting facilities along there. Because we have the sea, the blue Caribbean Sea, right there, and we are not utilizing assets that we have. Instead, we want to import everything. We are a great nation, we are a great people, and we have great resources. So those are some of the ideas there. Opening up commercial spaces, we can develop the waterfront into a cuisine center where patrons can enjoy the scenic seafront, expansive views, and again, at the top of the hill behind the Panyan. This will open up opportunities for development of small businesses. And so what I have in mind, but we'll discuss it with stakeholders, to develop the Hatter's Panyard space into recreational and commercial space. This area is very attractive real estate and will be developed into a waterfront, as I said, cuisine center to create opportunities for residents here and for others, and to create jobs. The Hatter's Panyard itself, if they agree, we'll work with them to transform it into a model for all panyards in the country, where again attractive space and facilities will be built to facilitate continuous use and commercial activity. Now, these are just some more plans for the city of San Fernando and the surrounding areas. As I go into each of the districts, we'll share more plans. But remember, we have a national economic transformation master plan. And it's not the end. We will take ideas, we'll listen, we'll add to it, we'll take away from it if needs be. But one thing is clear. We have a vision, we have a mission to transform Trinidad and Tobago. In a few days, you will go to the polls to elect your representatives in local government. I urge every citizen to come out and vote on December 2nd. Do not think that your vote is not important. The win is only won when the last vote is counted. Your vote is important. With your vote, you have the power to effect change in our country. My friends, my family, you are the reason I continue to fight and I continue to work for us to get together to build a better country. Your hope for a better future for yourself and for your children inspire me, drive me to do more and to do better. Every day, we are fighting a grueling battle to take back our country from those who seek to further destroy it. I know, and you know, and we know, the road ahead will not be an easy one. But we are prepared to go the distance for you, for our families, for our loved ones, for our children, for the next generation. We want to build a country of which we can all be proud. Their days are numbered. And as we approach December 2, your team of candidates armed with your love, your support, and driven by desire to serve, they commit today. They say that they are ready to stand with you and for you. I ask all of you to stand with the UNC to ensure that we get rid of this wicked, rowdy government. And when we do that once more, you can be guaranteed of a better future for your children, more employment, better health care, better education facilities. Look, I know you're suffering. When we go out, as I go out, the candidates go out. Yesterday, again, I say, a man stopped me there. He just kept wanting to talk with tears in his eyes. And he said to me, truck blaring noise and people want us to move because traffic piling up and so on. No, he held onto my hand. And he said, boss, I applied under the Land for the Landless program in my mother's name. He said, since these people come, they shut down the whole thing. He said, you know what happened? My house burned down, and now they're refusing to give me permission to build back the house. Land for the landless. How many people in this country suffer because they have no land to call a place that they could put a little house and call it a home? I had promised in 2015 I make that pledge again today because I suffered it, I know it. I moved as a child from house to house because we didn't have a piece of land. And we wasn't doing paranging either, we was just going from house to house. What helped me to be where I am, and I pledge and I said to you all, I will improve education again because true education is the only passport out of poverty. Education is a key to a better quality of life because no parent wants for their children what they suffer themselves. They want their children to do better. So we have to do better in the education sector. That's one sector. But I was talking to you about the house-to-house business. Given our history, the lands belong to the colonial powers in Trinidad and Tobago. And when they left it to the big landowners in this country. I will not call their names. Big landowners in this country are descendants of the colonialists who were here. And the rest of the people scrabbling, fighting and struggling. Some indented, I told the story before, indented servants coming out of India. Some of them didn't go back to India, and only some of them, they got a piece of land. Okay? Only some, not all. And the descendants of the African slaves, they got none. We must correct this inequity. We must give land to the landless. We'll find an equitable way because everybody needs a place to call home, to put their head, to rest their head. So the PNM has shut down the Land for the Landless program. They have replaced it with nothing. We pledge as well, when you put us back into government, we will deal with the outstanding issues of the Petrotrin, former Petrotrin workers. We'll deal with their issues. And in the same way, we'll deal with the outstanding issues for the former Caroni workers. Because the PNM has left them there to hang and dry. So do not ever give up hope. I know it's hard, but there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And we know as surely as the day follows the night, the sun will rise again. I say, let not the darkness extinguish the fires of hope that you have. They cannot take hope away from you. Once we stand united, we will win. Once we stand united, we will win. And so whatever disappointment, we have some people didn't get a seat and they're disappointed. Put that aside and look at the bigger picture. We have to win this local government election. This local government election, as others have told you, is one of the greatest battles we will ever fight. Because when we win the local, we have opened the door straightway clear to winning the general election. I urge you then, every man, woman, and not the children, but the children could wake up, the parents, and say, get up and go and vote. Everyone registered to vote, come out and vote, and don't wait for the evening. Come out early, because the same way they extend the voting time, last election, they could do what? They could cut it down. So come out early in the morning, cast your vote on December 2nd, put your X next to the rising sun. May God bless you. May God bless the UNC. And may God bless Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, let's get ready to present the top performers for local government elections 2019. And let's congratulate the leader of the opposition for having the vision, the foresight, and the insight to put together the best political team for local government elections 2019. Here we go. Reform Manahambri, let's welcome Chris Hussein. Inverness Princestown South, Derek Matura. Maruga, Joseph Lawrence. Gasparillo, Bonaventure, Safras Ali. Barrackpore West, Nicholas Kanai. Captiville, Fani Village, Keisha Grant. Kaparu, Mamaral, John Lizama. Balmain, Calcutta number 2, Aline Ramasa. Karatal, Tortuga, Jinali Ramsuru. Mondize, Derek Borin. Avocat San Francisco North, Dudnat Miru. Rio Claro North, Azari Ramdeen. Bellamond, Hard Bargain, Williamsville, Alvin Daniel. Bish, Charuma, Charlene Jomuna. Kokie Taruba, Indra Samaru. Otahiti Rosilak, Javid Mohammed. Ecclesville, Shafiq Mohammed. Charlieville, Faiq Mohammed. Superior East San Francisco South, Ramona Victor. Palo Seco, Finbus Small. Current Cedar Hill, Steve Premchand. Mayaro Guaya Guayari, Alicia Dyer. The top performers, Freeport Chiklan, Anil Baliram. Hindustan St. Mary's, Michelle Benjamin. Claxton Bay, Pointe-à-Pierre, Nadia Mohammed. Bronte, Brian Julian. Pinal, Shanti Budra. Piparo, San Pedro Tabakit, Henry Awa. Montrose, Debbie Buddha. Tishe Guapo, Brent Clark. Leservo East Sepero, Sachin Maharaj. Roshad, Barrackpore East, Kemwati Chulan. Breton Castle Esperanza, Gangaram Gopal. Perseverance, Waterloo, Dubranch Prasad. Enterprise South, Londonville North, Whitley Hamlet. Londonville Talparo, Balmati Gosai. Las Lomas, San Rafael, Ryan Rampasad. Debe East, Les Esperance Union Hall, Mohani Ramnarain. Kali Bay, Calcutta, number 3, McBean, Alan C. Prasad. Lengua, Indian Walk, Rajesh Lal. Egypt, Yula Kador. Cedrus, Shankar Tiloksing. Erin, Jaishan Dukran. New Village, Remington, Washington. Siparia West, Faizabad, Jason Ali. California, Point Lisas, Ramchan Maharaj. Fifth Company, Rafi Mohammed. La Fortune, Debe West, Krishna Prasad Singh. Debe South, Pushoti Singh. Quinam, Mon Diablo, Dipni Ramnath. St. Mary's, Carsonfield, Vishan Mohammed. Philosophy, Endeavor, Wendy Francis. Monroe Road, Caroni Savannah, Adrian Ali. David Law, Rio Claro South, Cats Hill. Ladies and gentlemen, the winning team for UNC World Nation Local Government Elections 2019. Let's hear it for the winning team, led by the political leader of the United National Congress, Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Big time. This is local government elections 2019. The winning team, and this is the biggest crowd in politics tonight, live across Trinidad and Tobago. Let's go. Let's hear it once again for the biggest team, local government elections 2019. This is UNC politics. This is the winning team on the winning side. On December 2nd, vote for the Clear Choice United National Congress.
UNC massive! If you're UNC and proud, put your hands in the air! Put your flags in the air! On the ready! Hey!
About these people and all the bag of lies and everything that they're doing wrong, they're trying to disguise.
Put your flags in the air! My UNC people, if you're UNC and proud, put your hands in the air!
Talk done. Let's get to work again. Put your hands in the air. Talk done. Let's get to work again.
Cause the country needs to start.
Talk done. Let's get to work again. Come on, people, they know it's true. Talk done. Let's get to work again. And the UNC works for you. Hey! Hey!
We start the engine. UNC have the plan. Build a brighter future. Forward Green Island. Come on, everybody. And you know it's true.
It's time to start work again. And the UNC works for you. Come on. Hey! Talk done. Let me see you put your hands in the air. Talk done. Talk done. Come on.
Listen.
These years of pressure, agony and pain, but we work with them and we cope with them and we feel the brunt of the strain.
Now we the people start crying out. We can't take it no more. Raise it in the air. So on election day when you ink your fingers, you won't see a vote in the air. Talk done. Let's get to work again. Come on. And the lies. Talk done. Let's get to work again. Cause the country needs to shine. Talk done. Let's get to work again. Come on, people, they know it's true. Talk done. Let's get to work again. And the UNC works for you. Come on.
We start the engine.
Work.
UNC have the plan.
Work.
Build a brighter future.
Work.
Forward Green Island.
Work.
Come on, everybody.
Work.
And you know it's true.
Work. It's time to start work again. And the UNC works for you.
Hey! UNC! UNC family! Shanti!
This is how we work.
Hey! Only listen! Listen!
I see it, Mohani!
Yeah, man! Yeah!
We don't talk the talk. We just walk the walk.
We don't make no joke when it's time to work. We don't talk the talk. We just walk the walk. We don't make no joke when it's time to work. Talk done. Look at them on the line. Talk done. Let's get to work again. Talk done. Let's get to work again. Come on, people, you know it's true. Talk done. Let's get to work again. As the UNC work for you. Engineer, start it from the top. Engineer, bring it back from the top, man. Don't make some noise for our political leader, Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Bring it back from the top. Bring it back from the top.
If you're UNC and you're proud, put your hands in the air.
Hey, hey, everybody. Hey, let's get ready to work. Start the talk is done now. Time to start back to work now. All the talk done, all the talk done. Work nation, see. Fed up by these people and all the bag of lies and everything that they're doing wrong. They're trying to disguise.